people live. mm, There are quite many recordings. You can always resort to them. I know I'm getting a bit boring for general audience. Generally, I use the language to reach the audience, but I'm not totally perfect. Anyway, we have found ourselves in a new situation. I will not pretend I know what to do, because I do not. I have a problem with how we see things. For example, I am copying a text now. Not I have a problem, we have a problem with how we see things. For example, I am copying a text now, and I have just read about the modern soul. It is learned, a lot of knowledge, beautiful language, a piercing thought. You read and you see. Everything falls in its right place. It makes me feel good. I feel intelligent and bright, and I have a sense of power. I know my mind is in order. Ideas are like doors. You can enter a world. It happens only in my mind, in my personal world, where I live as a spirit, I believe. So I feel that power, the power of ideas. But look what happens. The author is a Polish professor. Poland did not exist as a country for some time. The great powers who were our neighbors decided they would take Poland and share it between themselves, like a birthday cake that does not take into account the person celebrating the birthday. Prussia, Austria, Russia, 18th, 19th century. Then we got some Poland back. It was again on the map and claimed independence. There were two world wars. They still do not agree about who did what really. From the west, Germany, the Nazi. From the east, Russia, the Stalinists, the communists. Have you ever heard you act as if you were the center of the world? You are in Poland now. Poles believe Poland is the center of the world. Some think they are humble and say Poland belongs to Europe. That is why Poles, the Polish people, were so happy to join the European Union. Money, travel, work, all true, but first of all saying, we are in the Western world. We belong to Europe, not to Russia. The USA is good. Russia is bad. Some believe Russia is good. The USA is bad. Do you see my point? What is the world? The world is a place ruled by powers. One of them is the USA, the other Russia. The only true religion is Christianity. We are in a dialogue with Judaism. Muslims are terrorists. Buddhism and Hinduism are the work of Satan. We Christians arrived and gave the uncivilized continent civilization. It was long ago. Definitions. And I want you to understand it. I am reading one of my favorite professors. I admire him. And still, I am reading about the modern soul in the 19th century. The modern soul. I am reading that the conviction concerning a development of man becomes a dogma. A dogma is something you never question. It is true by definition. No one ever asks if it is true. It is true because the people in power say it is true. I am reading that this conviction about the development of man is the reason why we have a different spiritual culture now. Different from that in the ancient Greece and Rome. Now, that is the 19th century. The text is about Romanticism, a movement of thought, spirit, and conviction in the 19th century. Listen, because it is important. I am reading the culture is no longer satisfied with the classical traditions. These of the ancient Greece and Rome. The ancient traditions are the ancient Greece and Rome. Do you understand? We are talking about the development of man, the progress of humankind. Ancient Greece and Rome. All. I am reading. The culture needs to resort to the modern soul. I am reading. The modern soul was identified with the European one. That the history of the world at the time was still the history of the Western Europe, in fact. The history of the world was the history of the Western Europe. Do you follow? Then it got interested in other continents. We talk about the fall of communism in Europe, when it was developing in China. We are the center of the world. In that narrower, I am reading the text again. In that narrower sense, the modern soul had one common source, Christianity. I am reading. Apart from that, in contrast to the uniform classical Greek and Roman culture, it had a variety of sources in creations of various nations. What nations? Asian, African, South American perhaps? We are not talking about the European soul. We are talking about the modern soul, not the modern European soul, the modern soul of man. The modern soul, not the ancient Greece and Rome, Christianity. Do you get the picture of the world and humankind? So we do have a problem with how we see things. What I really want to say is that right now I am a center of the world, and this center is stuck with what I positively hate. There appear other people, and it all collapses all the time. Because in the very center, next to me, if I am in my head or behind whatever is left of my face, there is the enemy. So when the whole world becomes my enemy, remember that. The people are here. I think they even moved my ovary elsewhere to make Anna Grodzka. The Church of Scientology will be trying to make you my enemy. They owe me. Agnieszka Beata Magdalena Rojek. Agnieszka Justitia Defense of Honesty. The Noble Kingdom. The 23rd of May 2020.